Chapter 8, Thorns and Blossoms. The greenhouse air, thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming orchids, felt like a suffocating embrace. I stared at the unfinished sculpture, its steel frame a stark skeletal accusation against the lush greenery, unfulfilled potential. The words echoed the hollowness inside me. I'd texted Polo back with one word. Okay. One word to agree to see him, to continue this whatever this was. I hugged myself, trying to ward off a chill that had nothing to do with the humid Connecticut air. Polo's presence, his words, his touch, the predatory gleam in his eyes had become a cage, invisible but inescapable, an echo that reverberated in my every thought. I tried to work, to lose myself in the familiar rhythm of shaping metal, but the steel felt cold and alien under my fingertips. My mind was a traitor, constantly replaying his intense blue gaze, the way his hands had felt possessive, almost reverent on my skin, the raw hunger in his voice. He'd colonized my thoughts, my dreams, my very being. I felt exposed, vulnerable, and yet perversely alive. And the feeling hadn't faded. It had only intensified. A soft knock broke through my turbulent thoughts. Riv slipped into the greenhouse, her vibrant blue hair a splash of defiant color against the muted greens. "Hey Atlas," she said gently, "you've been hiding in here for hours, everything all right?" I managed a weak smile, a pathetic imitation of my usual composure. "Just wrestling with this piece," I gestured vaguely at the sculpture. "It's resisting." Riv's honey-colored eyes, always preternaturally perceptive, saw straight through the lie. "It's not the metal, is it?" she said softly. "It's him." My carefully constructed facade crumbled. "He's everywhere, Riv. I can't escape him. He's in my head, under my skin." I shuddered, the sensation both unsettling and strangely addictive. Riv settled onto a nearby stool, her expression sobering. "He's good, Daph, I'll give him that. He knows exactly what buttons to push." "It's like he's playing me," I said, the frustration raw in my voice. "One minute he's all-consuming intensity. The next he's charming, respectful, even helpful. He even managed to charm my mother." Riv chuckled, a dry, humorless sound. "The sunflower offensive?" I nodded, remembering the almost absurdly perfect bouquet of sunflowers Polo had presented to my mother, effortlessly drawing her into a conversation about her beloved orchids. A calculated move, undoubtedly, but undeniably effective. "He's a master manipulator, Daph," Riv said, the humor gone from her voice. "Be careful." I know, I said, raking a hand through my hair, "but it's complicated. He's also kind and funny and surprisingly insightful. He actually listens to me, Riv. He sees me." "And that terrifies you," Riv finished softly. The unspoken truth hung heavy in the humid air. "Come on," Riv urged gently, breaking the strained silence. "It is time to head out. It's getting dark." I blinked, surprised to see the twilight creeping in. Later, I found myself on the cottage porch with my mother. The clink of ice in our tea glasses, a counterpoint to the chirping of crickets. Fireflies winked in the gathering darkness. "He seems different," my mother said, breaking the comfortable silence. "Polo." My hand tightened around my glass. "Different how?" "More grounded," she mused. "More present. He actually asked about my research, and listened to the answers." A pause, then a sly smile. "He also has impeccable taste in flowers." Heat flooded my cheeks. "He's complex," I said. The evasion was barely a shield at all. My mother's green eyes, mirroring my own, held a knowing glint. "And you're intrigued," she said gently. I couldn't answer. The truth was a Gordian knot of conflicting emotions, too messy, too confusing, too dangerous to untangle. "Just be careful, sweetheart," my mother said, her voice firm but laced with concern. "Don't lose yourself. Don't let him prune your vines too severely." Her words, a familiar warning, echoed in my mind as I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. My fingers traced the delicate silver thorns and leaves of the earrings Polo had given me, a gift, a claim, a challenge. I thought of the sculpture, how I'd unconsciously begun to incorporate his features, his physicality, into the design. I thought of the lingering warmth of his touch, the echo of his voice. I was playing with fire. I knew it. I was risking my heart, my independence, my carefully curated world. But the pull was undeniable, a magnetic force drawing me towards the danger, the intensity, the intoxicating possibility of something real. As I drifted off to sleep, his image, those piercing blue eyes, that slow, knowing smile, the memory of his hand's pressure filled my mind. I whispered his name, Polo, a prayer, a plea, a reluctant surrender. The walls were crumbling, and I wasn't sure I had the strength or even the desire to rebuild them. I just hoped I wouldn't be crushed beneath the falling debris. The thorns were drawing blood, but the blossoms were starting to bloom.